Now we're going to talk about the assembly of your Pro Series large sport net. This assembly and video is fine for the 8-foot, the 9-foot, or the 10-foot large Pro Series net. You're going to start with the 4 tubes that are labeled base. They have a little base label on them. There's 4 of them, 2 straight and 2 90s. Let's get started. All we're going to do is match up the tube colors and connect them together and make sure the base labels are facing up when you're finished so that they can be read, okay? So let's start with the straights and then we'll go on to the 90s. So I connect the straights. I want to make sure the base is able to be read so it's up, okay? All right, now that the base is assembled, we're going to start building up with the tubes that actually have the weld on them. So I'll grab those 2 tubes and we'll start building up. These are the 2 vertical tubes. You notice they have the welds on them. And these are going to be the 2 tubes that we install next after installing the 4 tubes labeled base. Let's get started. All right, now that we have the 2 verticals installed, we're going to continue to build up. We're going to use the 2 tubes with the 45-degree angle and straights on them to continue to build up. Two more tubes, still building up. The next 2 tubes are these guys that go on, the 45 and the 90-degree angles, okay? Now, at this point, it's going to be too high for me to get the remaining 4 tubes installed. So, a couple things. You could tip it on its back and install it on the ground, or you can get a ladder and do it on a ladder. I'm going to tip it on its back and show you how to install it on the ground because I find it a little easier that way. So I'm going to tip this down. Okay. All right, now that I have it on its back, I'm going to install the 2 tubes with the 90-degree angles and then the straights with the net. Super important step here. This step we really need to pay attention because we are going to be sleeving this tube onto our Pro Series large 9 or 10 net. On the large 8, it's already going to come sleeved on this tube, so you won't have to worry about this step. But on the large 9 and the 10, since these guys ship in different boxes, you got to make sure that you sleeve the net correctly. The important thing is when this winds up on the frame, the patch always faces the athlete, is centered and always faces the athlete. Now, we got to make sure that we connect, once we sleeve this net, we connect the red end to the red end and the white and black stripe tube to the white and black stripe tube. So the easiest way to do this is this. Make sure the patch is facing away from you, okay, like it is here. And I'm going to look for the strap, this black strap, which is at the end of the sleeve, which basically just keeps this scrunched onto the tube if you ever decide to take it off. So, starting with this sleeve, okay, with these straps, I'm now going to feed this tube through the sleeve. Once I do that, I can put the red end down and just sleeve it. And I'll show you how it's going to end up. So just take your time, feed it through. Now, once we get to the end, I have my black and white striped tube. I have my red tube. And when I click this on, my embroidery is going to be facing out, a little scrunched up so you can't see it here. It's going to be facing out. This strap here that we started with is just to keep, it just keeps the net scrunched up. So if you ever want to take this off, this net off and move it, you don't have to re-sleeve your entire net, okay? So that's what this strap is for. on the bottom right-hand side of your net. But now that we sleeved it, we're gonna match it and connect it. So we'll start with the red side, and then we'll do the opposite side. All right, now that I have the sleeve installed on that uppermost tube, I have the patch facing out, I have the red to red, I have black and white to black and white. What I can do is I can disconnect this. If you haven't connected it, that's fine too. And I'm gonna slide the sleeve down the frame, and then we're gonna stand it up. So I'm gonna first start by bringing it down the frame, just like so, a little bit there. We're gonna get this right to just about center. And I'll do the same thing on this side. Once you do that, work it down on both sides. Call in a good friend, and we're gonna stand up the net together. And we'll slide it down. Omar's doing his side, I'm doing my side. That is how easy it is to assemble your Pro Series Large sport net. Literally, it's like a 5-minute process, 14 tubes, 1 net, slides down the frame. When you finish, kick the tail to the rear, and you're ready to go. Thank you so much for watching, and again, thank you for all of your support.